Hi guys, and welcome back to part 3 of my Albedo armor tutorial. In this video, I will be making my second favorite part of this entire cosplay, the Pauldrons. There's a link in the description below to the PDF pattern so you can make this cosplay yourself and support my work. And if you want to stick around to see the entire cosplay come together, then what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button! I start off with a paper version of the pauldron, then I drew along all the edges that I need to cut for the pattern to lay flat. I then made some registration marks and cut it all out. I'm skimming over the actual pattern making stuff because I will be uploading a separate video that goes into more detail on this entire process. Now that I had the pattern, I first made some notches for the registration marks so that I can transfer them over when I flip the pattern. I then cut it all out onto 12mm foam. Now it's time to put it all together. I first sanded the bumpy underside so that I can have a nice smooth surface for the glue to stick to. Or you can just, skip this step and buy untextured foam. I applied contact cement and just followed the pattern guides, making sure to line up those registration marks as best as I could. Pay attention to the order in which I'm putting the pieces together. Follow it closely because it will affect the way the pauldron fits. For this part, I chose not to bevel the edge to get the slope because I didn't want to lose the volume, if that makes sense. Instead, I slanted the middle portion outward while keeping the ends flushed at the side. Then I simply filled the resulting gap in the back with some hot glue. For the underside, however, I had to bevel the edge because the gap would have been visible on the outside. The pattern indicates where to angle, but honestly, you could just wing it. Now, if there's anything I've learned from this entire experience, it's don't use lumpy contact cement. It doesn't stick. Just get a new can. But if you're in a pinch, like I was, I found that by heating it up until it turns yellow makes it stick again. But still, get rid of that shit. I then sanded all the crusty cement off before attaching the dome to the rest of the pauldron. It's important you do it in this order because it's much easier to clean when separate. It's also important to align the back faces. You see how I'm using my thumb to guide the foam along the existing edge. You want to make sure it's nice and flush. I do this along the entire back of the pauldron. And like in all my other videos, I just have to find a way to it up. I managed to patch it up with some scrap foam, and once it's primed and painted, no one will be able to tell. At least that's what I'm hoping for. The other side turned out completely fine, which still baffles me to this day. And finally, I did the thing that we should always do and never forget because it's so important: sand those edges. And if you're wondering how everything is being held together, in my next video I'm going to show you how I made the harness that keeps everything from falling apart.